Think back. Early 2020. Life turned completely sideways. And what were folks scrambling for? Not high-end tactical equipment or those fancy $400 wilderness knives. Instead, people were wrestling each other for bathroom tissue, cleaning solutions, and dollar store hand soap. The budget basics disappeared within hours, while expensive preparedness equipment gathered dust on store shelves. I'm Shaw. I've been in the preparedness game since 2014. Here's something the so-called survival gurus won't admit. The items that genuinely matter during emergencies aren't found in specialty stores. They're sitting on discount shelves at your neighborhood big box retailer. These are the simple necessities that cost less than your daily latte. And here's the wake-up call. It's starting all over again. Economic reports from spring 2025 indicate that international commerce disputes are crushing affordable consumer goods first. Everyday household products, imported budget items, the things you actually depend on. Production facilities are stockpiling materials, and supply gaps are already appearing. Recent consumer finance publications identified nearly a dozen common products facing immediate availability issues. Not luxury gear, not premium flashlights, but basic, inexpensive essentials. Right now, I'm revealing 22 items available for under $5, some even under a single dollar, that could become invaluable when cold weather gets unpredictable. Accumulate them, cycle through them, exchange them when necessary. And item 14 costs just 35 cents, maintains viability for 3 decades, and might become more valuable than precious metals when infrastructure collapses. Stop chasing expensive solutions. Intelligent preparedness focuses on fundamentals. Allow me to demonstrate what that truly means. Item 1. Strike Anywhere matches, the forgotten fire solution. Starting with the traditional option that's becoming scarce faster than most realize. Strike Anywhere matches. You recognize these, the type your grandfather used for his tobacco pipe or outdoor fires. These aren't typical matches requiring special striker surfaces. These beauties ignite against concrete surfaces, stone, or even your coat's metal zipper. 0 batteries, 0 liquid fuel, 0 complicated methods. Just immediate flame every single attempt. The challenge? They're vanishing. Department of Transportation regulations mean most retailers cannot stock them anymore. The limited locations still carrying them include Rural King, select Walmart stores, and occasionally Dollar Tree outlets. That's your entire selection. I discovered this difficulty last winter during a restock attempt. After visiting 3 separate stores, I returned empty-handed. Shipping regulations changed, and suddenly these matches became difficult to locate. You might wonder, they're just matches. How critical are they really? Let me explain. When electrical systems fail, fire becomes everything. It provides warmth, illumination, food preparation capability, and water purification. When your fingers are numb and trembling, fumbling with ferrocerium rods or overpriced gadgets is the last thing you need. You want something delivering results on the initial strike. My approach? I purchase 10 to 20 containers whenever I locate them at 97 cents per container. That's merely a $20 commitment that could preserve your well-being. I store them inside mason jars with moisture-absorbing packets to maintain dryness, and they remain viable indefinitely. I also bundle 50 matches together and secure them in waterproof medication containers. They're distributed everywhere. My vehicle, my emergency pack, my kitchen storage, even my workspace. For trading purposes, a single match could exchange for canned goods when someone desperately needs fire. Believe me, these small fire sticks become incredibly valuable when circumstances deteriorate. Item 2. Plain bleach, the underestimated preparedness champion. Next consideration, plain old bleach. Not the no-splash variety, not the perfume types, just standard, boring sodium hypochlorite bleach. Remember early pandemic days? Bleach vanished from store shelves right alongside bathroom tissue. Why? Because during panic situations, people remember what actually eliminates pathogens. But here's what most folks don't understand. Bleach isn't merely for sanitizing countertops. It's an excellent water purification solution. 8 drops per gallon. Wait 30 minutes, and you've got safe drinking water. That's the entire process. No elaborate filtration systems, no costly purification tablets, just 8 drops. At $1.50 per gallon, bleach represents the most economical water purification approach you'll discover. Compare that to expensive purification tablets costing 50 cents per gallon treated. Bleach dominates every time.
Now, the limitation. Bleach degrades over time. At maximum potency, it maintains effectiveness approximately 6 months. Beyond that, it begins weakening, but remains functional. Simply double your dosage. I mark every container with the purchase month using permanent markers and rotate my inventory every 6 months. Don't worry, when bleach breaks down, it simply converts to salt water. It's not hazardous, just less potent. The major error people make: purchasing the incorrect type. No splash and scented bleaches contain additives that aren't safe for water treatment. You want the basic, bottom shelf product. Walmart store brand works perfectly. $1.50 per gallon. I maintain 4 to 6 gallons in continuous rotation. Use the oldest container, replace it, and continue the cycle. Here's why this matters. When distribution networks collapse, bleach prices skyrocket. During the pandemic, I witnessed it selling for $10 to $15 per gallon in certain regions. Don't wait for that situation to repeat itself. Stock up immediately. Item 3. White vinegar, the ultimate multi-use prep item. If there's one item deserving greater recognition in preparedness circles, it's white vinegar. This liquid is the supreme multitasker, and it costs under $3 per gallon. Cleaning? Absolutely. Food preservation? Definitely. First aid applications? You better believe it. And unlike bleach, vinegar never spoils. I possess bottles from 2015 that remain perfectly usable. Why do most preparedness enthusiasts overlook it? It's too straightforward, too affordable, too mundane. But when you cannot access stores, vinegar becomes essential. You can create pickling solutions to preserve vegetables for months without refrigeration. You can sanitize every surface in your residence, soften laundry, and even eliminate garden weeds. Got fungal foot infections or solar burns? Vinegar addresses those issues too. And let's not forget its food-grade quality. You can cook with it, preserve with it, and clean with it. Try accomplishing that with commercial cleaning products. But there's one critical guideline. Never combine vinegar with bleach, ever. The mixture produces chlorine gas, which proves fatal. Use them separately and rinse between applications. The optimal purchases? Walmart's distilled white vinegar runs $2.48 to $2.78 per gallon. Warehouse clubs sometimes offer 2-gallon packages for $5. I maintain at least 5 gallons available because it's remarkably easy to store. It doesn't degrade in heat or light exposure, so you can place it anywhere. Want an expert suggestion? Combine a gallon of vinegar with a cup of salt and a tablespoon of dish soap. It's the most effective weed elimination solution you'll ever use, and it costs perhaps $3 total. Compare that to $25 for a commercial herbicide bottle. Most people maintain 1 vinegar bottle under their sink and consider that adequate. It's not. Stock up. This liquid is versatility in a bottle, and it's practically free. Item 4. Disposable lighters, the crisis currency. Let's talk about disposable lighters. Everyone knows about them, but almost nobody accumulates them properly. Here's what transformed my perspective. During the pandemic, lighters became surprisingly difficult to find. Not impossible, but scarce enough that gas stations charged $2 to $3 for a single basic lighter. Meanwhile, before the shortage, you could obtain them for 25 cents each at Dollar Tree. That price differential, that's what we're preparing for right now. You can purchase a 100-pack of basic lighters online for $18 to $25. That's 25 cents per lighter for a dependable fire starter lasting over 10 years in storage. Each lighter provides approximately 3,000 ignitions. But here's the pain. Don't economize on generic brands. I've tested this, and the failure rate on no-name lighters is roughly 10 times higher than established brands. Invest the extra 10 cents per lighter. You'll appreciate yourself when they actually function. My system is, I purchased a 100-pack 2 years ago and distributed them everywhere. 10 in my vehicle, 10 in my emergency pack, 10 in the kitchen, 10 in the workspace, and the remainder in storage. When I grab a lighter and it's depleted, I discard it in a used container and pull from my stockpile. For trading purposes, lighters are extremely valuable. When the electrical grid fails and everyone needs fire multiple times daily, a single lighter can exchange for significant goods. One lighter can obtain 1 to 3 canned food items, depending on desperation levels. One critical warning: don't store lighters in hot vehicles or direct sunlight. Butane expands and they can leak or even explode. Keep them in a cool, dry location, and they'll last for years.
Item 5. Bar soap, the forgotten hygiene essential. Let's discuss bar soap, the forgotten hygiene champion. When did you last observe someone actually using bar soap? Everyone's fixated on liquid body wash and those elaborate foaming hand soap dispensers, but here's the reality. Bar soap is superior in every aspect. It lasts longer, costs less, doesn't spill, and never expires. During the pandemic chaos, when liquid soap vanished from shelves, bar soap remained sitting there untouched. Why? Because most people under 40 don't even consider using it anymore. That's their mistake and your advantage. A single 4-ounce bar provides 75 to 100 hand washes, or 15 to 20 complete showers. That's equivalent to 3 or 4 bottles of liquid soap, and it costs a fraction of the price. At Dollar Tree, you can obtain bars for as little as 42 cents each. Show me liquid soap that affordable. But wait, it improves. Bar soap isn't just for hand washing. Grate it with a cheese grater, combine it with hot water, washing soda, and borax, and you've created 2 gallons of homemade laundry detergent for under $1. Compare that to the $8 to $15 you'd spend on commercial detergent. And don't believe the antibacterial marketing deception. Plain soap works equally well at eliminating bacteria through scrubbing action, and it's significantly cheaper. My system? I maintain 30 to 50 bars in rotation continuously. That's a $15 to $25 investment, covering my family's hygiene requirements for an entire year. To maximize their longevity, let the bars age in open cardboard containers for 6 months before sealing them. They harden over time, meaning they'll last even longer during use. And for trading, soap is non-negotiable. Everyone requires it every single day. During a crisis, a single bar of soap could exchange for food, water, or other essentials. Stock up now because when shelves are empty, you'll be grateful you did. Item 6. Toilet paper, the ultimate panic purchase. We all remember the great toilet paper panic of 2020. People were literally fighting over rolls like their survival depended on it. And yet here we are in 2025, and most people still don't maintain an adequate backup supply. They experience the chaos, the embarrassment of requesting neighbors for a roll, and then promptly forgot about it 6 months later. Don't be that person. Here's the mathematics. A family of 4 requires 200 to 240 rolls of toilet paper annually. That's approximately 50 rolls per person yearly. For a 3-month emergency supply, you're looking at 80 to 100 rolls. It's not as overwhelming as it sounds. The key is building your stockpile gradually. Purchase 1 or 2 extra packages every shopping trip and rotate through your supply by using the oldest rolls first. Storage is where most people fail. Don't leave your toilet paper in cardboard packaging in the garage. Moisture and rodents will destroy it faster than you think. Invest in large plastic storage containers, which cost $8 to $12 each. A 30-pack of toilet paper fits perfectly in a 20-gallon container. Stack them under beds, in closets, or in your garage corner. Let's discuss cost. Dollar Tree sells 4 packs for $1, which equals 25 cents per roll. Walmart's 12 mega roll packages run about 50 cents per roll. It's not expensive, but during the pandemic, people were paying $25 for a 12-pack when they could find it. Don't wait for the next crisis to stock up.
Expert suggestion? Install a basic bidet attachment for $20. It reduces your toilet paper consumption by 75%. You'll still need backup supply for when water is limited, but your stockpile will last 4 times longer. Be smart about this. Toilet paper isn't glamorous, but it's essential. Item 7. Salt, the timeless survival staple. Salt. It's so inexpensive and abundant today that most people don't even consider it. But throughout history, salt was worth its weight in gold. Roman soldiers received it as payment, wars were fought over it, and entire trade routes were constructed around it. Why? Because salt is essential for human survival and has thousands of applications. Here's the reality. You can purchase a 50-pound bag of salt for $20. That's 40 cents per pound for something that never expires and can literally preserve your life. You need 2 types. Iodized table salt for daily consumption, because iodine is critical for thyroid function, and non-iodized pickling salt for food preservation. The iodine in table salt interferes with preservation chemistry, so don't confuse them. Most preparedness enthusiasts make the error of stockpiling hundreds of pounds of food, but only a few pounds of salt.
Then they realize too late that food preservation requires massive quantities of it. 5 pounds of salt might preserve 20 pounds of food. That's it. You're going to need significantly more than that. The best move? Visit a restaurant supply store. A 50-pound bag of pickling salt runs $20 to $25 compared to $2 to $3 per pound at retail. Store it in 5-gallon buckets with Gamma Seal lids to keep it dry. Pull from your bulk supply into smaller containers for daily use. Salt isn't just for food. Combine it with vinegar for an effective weed elimination solution. Use it to melt ice down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Make a salt paste to remove rust or sanitize cutting boards. It even extinguishes grease fires. In a grid-down scenario, salt's value skyrockets. Stock deep on this one. Item 8. Aluminum foil, the survival multi-tool. Aluminum foil is one of the most underrated survival items available. Most people think it's just for wrapping leftovers, but it's substantially more than that. A single roll of heavy-duty foil can solve dozens of problems during a crisis, and it costs just $3 to $6. Let's start with cooking. You can use foil to cook food directly on coals, wrap it for preservation, or even create a basic solar oven. Need emergency insulation? Line your coat or sleeping bag with foil for an instant heat boost. Collecting rainwater? Shape foil into a funnel. Need to signal for help? Foil reflects sunlight from miles. The key is purchasing heavy-duty foil. Regular foil tears and punctures too easily, especially when you're using it for survival tasks. Reynolds heavy-duty foil is the gold standard. It costs $1 or $2 more per roll, but it's worth it. It lasts 3 times longer and holds up under real-world use. Foil has an indefinite shelf life as long as you keep it dry. It takes up almost no space, weighs next to nothing, and has over 50 legitimate survival applications. For trading, it's moderately valuable. Everyone needs cooking solutions when utilities are down, and foil is a lifesaver. Stock at least 3 to 5 rolls. You'll be amazed at how many problems this simple item can solve. From cooking to insulation to emergency signaling, aluminum foil is the prep item nobody discusses, but everyone wishes they had. Item 9. Duct tape, the ultimate fix-it tool. Let's be honest, duct tape is the Swiss Army knife of the preparedness world. Everyone knows about it, but most people don't take it seriously enough. They've got one dusty roll sitting in a drawer somewhere and think they're prepared. Spoiler alert, you're not. Duct tape can repair just about anything: gear, clothing, shelter, vehicles, but it's also a lifesaver in emergency medical situations. You can use it to make butterfly bandages, splint broken bones, secure dressings, waterproof leaks, or even build an emergency shelter. Tear it into strips, and it works as improvised cordage. Here's the catch. Duct tape doesn't last forever. Its adhesive has a shelf life of about 1 to 3 years if stored optimally, and maybe 5 to 10 years if you keep it cool and dry. That roll sitting in your hot garage for 6 years? It's probably useless now. When you need it most, it won't stick. My solution? Gorilla tape.
It's like duct tape on steroids. The adhesive is stronger, it lasts longer in storage, and it even sticks to wet surfaces. Sure, it costs a bit more, $6 to $8 per roll instead of $3 to $4 for regular duct tape, but it's worth every penny. I recommend keeping at least 3 to 5 rolls on hand. Rotate them out by using the oldest roll for everyday projects and saving the fresh ones for emergencies. For trading, duct tape is extremely valuable. It's a universal repair solution that everyone needs, but few people stockpile adequately. When things go sideways, you don't want to be the person with one crusty old roll that's lost its stickiness. Stock up now because duct tape isn't just a tool, it's a survival essential. Item 10. Heavy-duty contractor trash bags, the unsung sanitation hero. Trash bags might not sound exciting, but when sanitation systems fail, they become critical. And I'm not talking about those flimsy kitchen bags that rip if you look at them wrong. I'm talking about heavy-duty contractor trash bags, the 3 mil thick ones that can handle serious abuse. These bags aren't just for waste management. They're a multi-purpose survival tool. Let's start with the obvious, waste disposal. When trash stops getting picked up, you'll need a way to manage your garbage and keep your living space sanitary. But that's just the beginning. Cut arm and head holes, and you've got an emergency raincoat. Layer them together, and you've got a makeshift shelter or waterproof ground cover. Use them to transport water, organize and protect deer, or even create quarantine barriers.
In a pinch, they can serve as a sleeping bag liner to keep you dry and warm. The key is to buy multiple sizes. You'll need 13-gallon bags for daily waste, 30-gallon bags for general use, and 55-gallon bags for the heavy-duty stuff. And don't cheap out. Contractor-grade bags are built to last, while regular bags tear under any real stress. A box of 50 to 100 bags will run you $8 to $15, which breaks down to about 10 to 30 cents per bag. During the pandemic, these bags didn't disappear as fast as toilet paper, but they definitely got scarce. Their shelf life is indefinite as long as you store them properly. For trading, they have moderate to high value during sanitation crises, which is exactly when you'll need them most. I keep 200 bags in rotation across multiple sizes. It sounds like a lot until you're in an extended emergency and burning through 5 to 10 bags a day. Trust me, you'll be glad you stocked up. Item 11. 6 mil plastic sheeting, your emergency heat shield. Plastic sheeting might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of preparedness, but it's a game changer. This isn't the flimsy drop cloth you use for painting. I'm talking about heavy-duty 6 mil construction plastic. It's your go-to solution for heat retention, emergency shelter, and so much more. Picture this: a winter storm blows out your windows. How are you keeping the heat in? Plastic sheeting. Need to section off a room to conserve heat? Plastic sheeting. Building an emergency shelter or windbreak? You guessed it, plastic sheeting. This material traps heat exceptionally well. When the power's out and temperatures drop, you can seal off a single room, use a small heat source, and maintain livable temperatures. Without it, you're trying to heat your entire house, which is impossible without utilities. A 10-foot by 25-foot roll costs $15 to $30 at hardware stores. That's about 50 cents per square foot of emergency protection. But it's not just for heat. You can use it to collect rainwater, create quarantine barriers, or protect supplies for moisture. Its shelf life is 5 to 10 years if stored indoors, away from UV light, which degrades it over time. For trading, plastic sheeting is high value during winter emergencies. When someone's windows are blown out and they're freezing, this stuff becomes priceless. I recommend buying at least 1 or 2 large rolls now. When that first major winter storm hits, everyone will remember they need it and the shelves will empty fast. Item 12. Zip ties, the tiny tool that solves big problems.
Zip ties, cable ties, whatever you call them, they're one of the most underrated items in your prepper arsenal. These little plastic strips might seem insignificant, but they're incredibly versatile. For $5 to $12, you can get a pack of 100 zip ties in assorted sizes, and they'll solve problems you didn't even know you had. Need to secure gear? Zip ties. Quick fix for a broken strap, handle, or hinge? Zip ties. Bundling firewood, organizing supplies, or repairing a fence? Zip ties. They're even useful in emergencies. Think improvised handcuffs for security, or a last resort tourniquet when you've got nothing else. The key is to buy assorted packs with multiple sizes. Small ties are perfect for light-duty tasks, while larger ones can handle serious jobs. If you're using them outdoors, go for UV-resistant black zip ties. They last much longer in sunlight compared to the standard white ones. Zip ties have a shelf life of 10+ years, so you can stockpile them without worrying about them going bad. For trading, they're low value individually, but high value when you're trading a pack of 20 or 50. Everyone needs fasteners eventually, and when they do, zip ties are a lifesaver. I keep 500 to 1,000 zip ties in my stockpile. That might sound excessive, but once you start using them, you'll realize how fast they disappear. They take up almost no space. A gallon-sized bag can hold hundreds. This is the prep item that costs next to nothing but solves 1,000 problems. Stock up now and you'll thank me later. Item 13. Paracord, the rope that does it all. If you're serious about preparedness, paracord is non-negotiable. But not just any paracord. Real 550 paracord, the kind with 7 inner strands plus the outer sheath. This isn't just a rope, it's 8 ropes in one. Those inner strands, they're lifesavers. Use them for fishing line, sewing, snares, or even emergency sutures. The outer cord is perfect for shelter building, securing gear, lashing, or even as a clothesline. Here's the deal. Cheap knockoff paracord is everywhere. The stuff you find at dollar stores or big box retailers often has only 3 strands inside and snaps under real pressure. Don't waste your money. Real 550 paracord costs $8 to $20 for 100 feet, depending on the brand and quality. It's worth every penny. Colors matter too. Olive drab or black is great for tactical concealment, while bright colors like orange or yellow are ideal for signaling or marking trails. I keep both in my stockpile because you never know what situation you'll face. Paracord has a shelf life of decades if stored dry, making it a long-term investment. For trading, it's moderately valuable because rope is always in demand. My personal system. I stockpile at least 300 feet, 3 100-foot lengths. It's lightweight, compact, and solves problems that nothing else can. Whether you're building a shelter, repairing gear, or improvising a snare, paracord is the tool you'll reach for again and again. Don't skimp on this one. Item 14. Bandanas, the 35-cent survival MVP. Bandanas might seem old-fashioned, but they're one of the most versatile items you can stockpile. For as little as $1 to $3 each, or even cheaper if you buy in bulk, you get a piece of gear that can handle dozens of survival tasks. And here's the kicker, they last forever. Cotton doesn't degrade, so a bandana you buy today will still be useful 30 years from now. What can you do with a bandana? A better question is, what can't you do? Use it as a wound dressing, a pre-filter for water, a face mask, a tourniquet, or a sling. Need a hat, a pot holder, or a signal flag? Bandana. Tear it into strips for cordage, or use it as camouflage. The possibilities are endless. The key is to buy plain cotton bandanas, none of that synthetic fashion-forward nonsense. Real cotton absorbs, filters, and holds up to hard use. I stockpile 20 to 30 bandanas in a mix of colors. Bright red and orange are great for signaling, while olive drab and black work for tactical situations. White bandanas are perfect for medical applications. For trading, bandanas have moderate value because everyone needs cloth for something, hygiene, medical, or utility. And they weigh almost nothing, take up no space, and cost next to nothing. If you're not stockpiling bandanas, you're missing out on one of the cheapest, most versatile survival tools out there. Item 15. Disposable razors, the overlooked hygiene essential. Let's talk about something most preppers completely overlook. Disposable razors. Sounds non-essential, right? Wrong. When you haven't shaved for 3 months and you're starting to look like a castaway, you'll realize how much it affects your morale.
Shaving isn't just about vanity, it's about hygiene, normalcy, and maintaining your mental health during a crisis. Dollar Tree sells 10 packs of disposable razors for $1.25. That's just 12.5 cents per razor. For $15, you can build a year's supply. And here's the thing, razors aren't just for shaving. They're also handy for cutting cord, opening packages, or even as a last resort survival tool. For trading, razors have surprisingly high value. Personal grooming matters to people, especially during hard times. A clean-shaven face can make a huge difference if you're trying to maintain a professional appearance or take on a leadership role in your community. Razors have an indefinite shelf life, though the blades can dull slightly if stored in humid conditions. Keep them dry and sealed in gallon-sized Ziploc bags. I recommend stockpiling 50 to 100 razors. Rotate through them for daily use, and you'll always have a fresh supply. Here's the bottom line. Everyone stockpiles food and gear, but basic hygiene items like razors often get forgotten. Don't make that mistake. They're cheap, they last forever, and they matter more than you think. Item 16. Feminine hygiene products, the critical prep most people ignore. Half the population needs feminine hygiene products every month, yet they're one of the most overlooked items in prepper stockpiles. During the pandemic, these vanished from shelves just like everything else, leaving women scrambling. Don't let that happen to your household. A box of pads or tampons costs $3 to $8, depending on the brand and quantity. For a 6 to 12-month supply per female in your household, you're looking at $50 to $150 total. That's a small price to pay for something so essential. The primary use is obvious, but these products have survival applications too. Pads can double as sterile wound dressings. They're designed to be absorbent and bacteria-free. They can also pre-filter water before purification, serve as fire tinder, or even be used for insulation in a pinch. For trading, feminine hygiene products have extremely high value. This is a non-negotiable need, and most people don't stockpile it adequately. During a crisis, these items can trade for food, water, or other essentials. Make sure you buy unscented versions too. Scented products can cause rashes and irritation.
Shelf life is indefinite if kept dry. Store them in sealed plastic totes to protect them from moisture, and rotate your stock by using the oldest first. And guys, listen up. Just because this doesn't apply to you personally, doesn't mean you should ignore it. Your wife, daughters, or neighbors will need these. Be the person who planned ahead. Pads are more versatile than tampons for survival purposes, so double up on those. The wound dressing capability alone makes them worth the investment. Stock up now, because when the shelves are empty, these will be worth their weight in gold. Item 17. Ziploc freezer bags, the unsung hero of food storage. Let's talk about Ziploc freezer bags, not the flimsy storage bags that rip if you look at them wrong, but the heavy-duty freezer bags that actually hold up under pressure. These bags are thicker, seal better, and don't tear as easily, making them indispensable in any prepper's arsenal. A box of 25 to 50 bags costs $3 to $6, and trust me, you'll need hundreds of them. The obvious use is food stowage, but these bags do so much more. Use them to waterproof important documents, electronics, or first aid supplies. Organize small gear so it doesn't get lost. Portion out rations to prevent food waste. You can even use them for boil-in-bag cooking to conserve fuel, or fill them with water and freeze them for emergency ice packs. The possibilities are endless. Here's the key. Always buy freezer bags, not regular storage bags. The plastic is thicker, the seals are stronger, and they're far more durable. Sure, they cost a little more, 50 cents to $1 extra per box, but they're worth every penny. Shelf life is easily 5 to 10 years. They might yellow slightly with age, but they'll still work just fine. For trading, freezer bags have moderate value. Food storage becomes critical during a crisis, and these bags are perfect for portion control when refrigeration fails. Imagine trying to ration peanut butter or rice without a way to seal it properly. I keep 200 to 300 bags in multiple sizes. Gallon and quart are the most versatile.
That's a $20 to $30 investment that covers food preservation, organization, and waterproofing for months. Don't underestimate the power of a good Ziploc bag. Item 18. Baking soda, the multi-purpose miracle powder. Baking soda is one of those items that's so cheap and versatile, it's almost criminal not to stockpile it. For 50 cents to $2 per box, you get a product that handles medical, cleaning, and cooking tasks with ease. If you're serious about preparedness, skip the small boxes and go straight for the big bags at warehouse clubs. You can get 5 to 10 pounds for $5 to $8. What can baking soda do? A better question is, what can't it do? Use it to clean and deodorize just about anything. Smother a grease fire with it. Mix a 1/4 teaspoon in water for instant heartburn relief. Out of toothpaste, baking soda has you covered. Make a paste to clean stubborn stains or boost your laundry detergent for brighter clothes. And of course, it's essential for baking. Baking soda has an extremely long shelf life, years if stored properly in a sealed container. For trading, it has moderate value because it's useful in so many ways. I keep 10 to 20 pounds on hand at all times. It's cheap insurance that solves countless problems. Item 19. Manual can opener, the tool you can't do without. Here's something most preppers don't think about until it's too late. A manual can opener. You can have 1,000 cans of food stockpiled, but if you can't open them, you're in serious trouble. Electric can openers are useless when the power goes out. Those flimsy little P38 military openers work in a pinch, but they're slow and frustrating to use. What you need is a quality manual can opener, the kind that actually works smoothly and won't break after 10 uses. A good manual can opener costs $3 to $8. The Swingaway brand is my personal favorite. It's built like a tank and will last for decades. I keep one in my kitchen, one in my bug-out bag, and one in my vehicle emergency kit. For trading, can openers have surprisingly high value during a crisis. Most people don't think to stockpile them, and when they realize they need one, they'll trade generously for it. Shelf life is indefinite, as long as you keep them dry to prevent rust. Buy a few extras now. They're lightweight, take up almost no space, and could save the day. Item 20. Tea light candles, the affordable emergency lighting source. Let's wrap this up with tea light candles. These tiny powerhouses are often overlooked, but they're one of the best emergency lighting solutions available. A pack of 50 to 100 tea lights costs $3 to $8, which breaks down to about 6 to 8 cents per candle.
Each tea light burns for approximately 4 hours, giving you 200 to 400 hours of light for less than $10. Compare that to batteries and flashlights, which are far more expensive and have shorter lifespans. But tea lights aren't just for lighting. You can use them for heat. 10 tea lights can warm a small enclosed space by several degrees. Cooking, with the right setup, you can boil water or warm food, or even as a psychological comfort during stressful times. The key is to buy unscented white tea lights. Scented ones can cause headaches in enclosed spaces and aren't suitable for food preparation. Store them in their original packaging in a cool, dry place, and they'll last indefinitely. For trading, candles have moderate to high value depending on how long the power's been out. After a few days without electricity, people become desperate for light sources, and tea lights are perfect because they're safe, long-lasting, and affordable. I keep 300 to 500 tea lights. Item 21. Cotton balls, the ultra-lightweight medical multiplier. Cotton balls seem trivial, something you'd toss out after removing makeup, but in a crisis, they're pure gold. A bag of 100 costs under $1 at Dollar Tree, and they're lighter than air. Medical use? Obvious. Apply ointments, clean wounds, stop minor bleeding. But go further. Soak them in petroleum jelly and you've got waterproof, long-burning fire starters. One cotton ball soaked in Vaseline can burn for 3 to 5 minutes, plenty of time to catch kindling. Need a filter? Layer cotton balls in a bottle with sand and charcoal for rudimentary water filtration. Lost a button? Stuff cotton behind it for a temporary fix. Got an earache? A cotton ball soaked in warm oil provides relief. They compress to nothing, weigh ounces, and never expire if kept dry. Store them in sealed containers with desiccant packs, and they'll outlive you. For trading, cotton balls are low value individually, but high value in bulk. Combine them with Vaseline, and you've got a barter item that's lightweight and universally useful. I keep 500 to 1,000 on hand. They cost pennies, solve dozens of problems, and vanish fast once you start using them. Don't overlook the humble cotton ball. It's the silent MVP of the medicine cabinet. Item 22. Plastic spoons. The disappearing dining essential. Plastic spoons. Yes, really. During the pandemic, restaurants stopped offering utensils and disposable cutlery vanished from stores almost overnight. Why? Because when utilities fail or dishwashing becomes impossible, you need single-use tools that won't rust, break, or require cleaning. A 1,000-count box costs $6 to $10, less than a penny per spoon. They're perfect for eating, stirring, measuring, digging small holes, scooping medicine, or even as makeshift splints. Need to portion out salt or baking soda? A plastic spoon gives you consistent measurements without contaminating your supply. Unlike metal, they won't corrode. Unlike wood, they won't splinter or absorb moisture. Store them in sealed bins and they'll last indefinitely. For trading, they're surprisingly valuable. After a week without running water, nobody wants to wash dishes. A handful of spoons can trade for coffee, sugar, or small rations. I keep 2,000 spoons in rotation, stored in labeled 5-gallon buckets. They take up minimal space, cost almost nothing, and solve a basic human need, eating without touching your food. Don't laugh. When the power's out and your hands are cold and dirty, that plastic spoon becomes a luxury. Stock up now, before they're gone again.